Alright, hello, welcome to today's update. I recorded one a little bit before, but I felt like it was a little bit too long. I didn't explain some of the stuff that I wanted to talk about, so here it is again. Alright, so today I worked on the backwalking animation for Wolf. So let me play this for you. He walks backwards now. This is a little crisscross step, and he raises his guard a little bit. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to work on. Looks great in game, as you will see in a bit. The other thing I worked on was the slash attack, which is something like this. I was debating on whether to include this frame or not, where he almost hits you, but I felt like it. I played it with it. Let me just show you guys. It just didn't really work out. I think. I like the quick kind of like slashing effect, where he like just instantly just he kind of just skips that frame for you, where it just feels a lot crisper, right? It just feels crisper. I included that frame because it wasn't reading correctly earlier. It was just like, oh, I didn't feel like the person was swinging all the way around. But I feel like just having more anticipation frames and having kind of like this like distorted stretched out frame in right beforehand also helps. So I've added the run animation, the backwalking animation game. I think it looks pretty sick. Of course, the forward run speed isn't quite as matched up with like how fast he's just spinning his legs. But that's something to be changed later on. I think it's pretty it's pretty awesome to see this slowly coming together. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Oh yeah, one thing I was talking about was this animation was definitely a lot harder to work on because I wanted just because he's shifting around his weight so much. The approach I actually took to animating this was that kind of from my own kind of like badminton experience, where you can kind of divide like a swing into 4 steps, where you like lean back, and then you prepare your swing, and then you actually go for the swing, and this is the follow through. And I think just acting that out myself and also kind of thinking about exactly what steps I want to emphasize definitely helped me a lot in terms of animating this. I'm definitely still not happy with the exact timing of it, but that's something work in progress. You'll definitely see more iteration of this later on. This is definitely like I just only drew the skeleton, very rough, and definitely gonna modify this. I think I want him like even like a little bit more forward, almost overshooting in this frame right here. Or maybe right here, I think his weight might be I might want it to be a little bit more forward. So yeah, Krita has been super nice actually. Like this onion skinning is very nice, and the spreadsheet that exported I showed you last time made exporting everything into Unity or into Unreal very quick. The other thing is that um, the way I'm subclassing into BP Wolf is actually just like makes my life so much easier because I can just drop in an animation. So I already basically have everything set up here, and I just select the different animations. So I've overrode the animation update function and just slotted my animations here, and then it's good. It's quick and easy. One last thing is that I have this different character right here. I've been kind of thinking about like what makes character kind of interesting or like appealing, and I think one thing that makes so like I think it's really important to have kind of a central theme to each of your characters, or like central appeal of your characters. I think things like Wolf is very like appealing to people that kind of want to play right something that just like more instinctual, right? It kind of like it's like an animal, right? Let me see. And then Nomad's definitely more like where's the Nomad? Yeah, Nomad's definitely more like kind of wanderer type of feel, right? This one is just I don't have a name for him yet, but he's just more of like monsterish, right? And I think the bounty hunter is more like what is it? Where is he? Yeah, the bounty hunter is definitely more like a buccaneer sort of feeling. I think it's very important to have like a central appeal, right? And the girl maybe is like a mysterious or like childlike curiosity that appeals to people. And this one is supposed to be more like discipline oriented, right? This guy, so the way I imagine him to be is that like he's like a very serious person where he just trains daily and like hones his skills. And he practices his sword all day. But when he fights, he doesn't actually use it. Where he just like kind of he's so good that he like every time he takes it out, he's like just deletes you, right? So he holds back, uses right, keeps his sword sheath when he fights you. So he kind of had this like traditional martial artist garb. I took some inspirations from Demon Slayer and also just like traditional right Chinese martial artists, the way their uniforms looked. I don't quite like this pose right here because he seems a little bit too tense for how good he is. But more on that later. I think just making a character. So I think the workflow now is that I'm mostly going to be. I'm still kind of like exploring how much I want to go make new characters, make environments, stuff like that. I think making a single character is going to be a lot of work in terms of animating stuff already, but I think it's a good mix of work in terms of like brainstorming new characters, doing system work, and then animating. I think it's a pretty good like diversity of work that keeps me motivated and going. I think a lot of my animation efforts definitely going to Wolf and making that to be kind of the first playable character. But we'll see how everything goes. There's still, as you can see from the slash animation, there's still a long ways to go before his kit is complete with art. I still need to figure out exactly what I want his kit to be, and whether I want there to be any unique mechanics and such. So yeah, that's kind of it for today. Lots of work in progress. Some cool updates with the walk back and implementing the game. Super easy to implement some of these art into the game, but I'll probably have to change the scale of it later on. Wait, let me actually. Yeah, so I mentioned this last time where if right because my art is so big, right, I have to resize the sprite to be very small. So I have to figure out exactly what scale I want things to be, so I'm not like scaling the sprite down super much and then scaling everything up super big or stuff like that. So make sure everything is kind of in the scale that I want them to be, even though it doesn't really matter. But even though it doesn't really matter in the end, it will keep the units and stuff like that a lot more manageable for me when I'm going through them. So yeah, that's today's update. Thank you for tuning in, and see you guys tomorrow.